Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. Yes, hello and welcome to the Kop TV for a very, very special video. Today I have the one and only Mr. Jermaine Pennant, Liverpool legend. Here he is. Smile. How are you doing, my brother? Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
No worries. I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm all good.
Good to know that. A comment in already from Morbid Angel. Weird name, to be fair. But he says that volley against Chelsea was a beaut. We're going to touch on that a lot more. Don't worry about that. Claudia T, always locked in. Afternoon, Alex and Jermaine. Now, listen. Everyone I know, at least, grows up wanting to be a footballer. At what age did you really realise that this could actually be a career that you could forge for yourself? And you know, you made it, really.
Well, I knew I could do it when I was around 8, 9.
Wow.
I was playing football since I could walk. Anything I could kick, I would kick it. And yeah, I was at my first local team around 9, and then from there I just progressed, and I always stood out from the other children, and obviously I always get the comments, so I knew that I had a talent, and the love for it just carried me forward. Yeah,
I mean, you mentioned there you get the comments. I feel like if you weren't getting those little slide digs, it means you probably weren't good enough. But the fact that you were getting the stick, jealousy, if anything, mate.
Yeah, obviously that's what spurs you on sometimes. And if you're at your top of your game and you feel like you're the best, player in your age group or whatever going forward, then obviously you're doing something right, because when you're at the high, you always need the lows. So I just stick through it.
Absolutely. So let's take it right back, man. You started growing up in the Meadows area in Nottingham. Now, listen, mate, I went to uni in Nottingham, and I was told by many people, if there's one place you don't want to end up in, either daytime or nighttime, it's the St Anne's Meadows area. Talk to me about the kind of area where you grew up, bro.
Yeah, it's very rough, put it that way. A lot of crime, there's drugs. Obviously, gang warfare was always a big part of like I said, the two areas you named, Meadows and St Anne's, a big rivalry there. So it was tough, but I always felt safe in my area. I was always looked after, especially being the known boy playing football. So I was always one that stood out in the area. So yeah, but at that age, you don't know any different. You don't know different until you start growing up, and you're getting into your adult life.
Yeah, so obviously you shine locally. You get picked up by Notts County. You said in the past that was almost a safe haven for you, away from, like you said, the drugs and the gang warfare and stuff like that. But then you go to Arsenal at a very young age. I mean, I know that you've always been a Liverpool fan, but when you get to Arsenal and you're surrounded by these kind of guys, I mean, how do you humble yourself? How do you realise that actually, although I'm surrounded by these great guys, there's still a long way to go?
Yeah, obviously, when I moved to Arsenal, I was just turned 16. So, the likes of Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira. Yeah, it was very daunting. Yeah. But not only that, you had the big Arsene Wenger, who was like a head teacher when he talked to you sometimes. Yeah, when he talks to you. So it was all very daunting. But the more you train with them, the more you surround yourself with them, you just feel a part of it. And then you're just excited to, start making your debut, start playing more. And then it's easy to get on with.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you've joined Arsenal at such a young age. I don't know if you've seen this online recently, but there's been a lot of chat around Jeremy Lynch and his kind of claim that apparently he was told, and I'm not saying he's lying or he's telling the truth, but you were there around this time. And he claimed that he was told that on the ball, he's the best in the whole club. Now, bear in mind, you just mentioned some of the names that were at the club at the time.
Yeah.
But they also said he was the worst off the ball. So a lot of people have obviously expressed concerns about the validity of this. Is there anything you can add to this to maybe shed some light?
Well, when I was here, he wasn't there, so I can't back up his story. So only Jeremy can tell you that. But it takes more to be a professional footballer than having tricks and doing skills with a ball. You need a lot more to your game than just doing that. Otherwise, you'll have every trickster out there playing at a professional club. So maybe it was great on the ball, but like I said, you need more than just being able to flick the ball over your head and 44 nutmegs and 2 around the world. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know if, like I said, there's been a lot of stuff on YouTube recently, a lot of YouTubers going back and forth, basically saying that he was lying. But anyway, I'm glad. I mean, Thierry Henry, Robert Pires, Bergkamp in the squad at this time. To say that, or to claim that someone has said that you're better on the ball than these players, I'm not too sure.
I don't know if he was told he was better than them players. You know, I don't know if it was he told he was the best on the ball in the youth team. That's more believable.
I mean, I'm good on the ball, very good on the ball, as we're going to see in a video later on. I wouldn't say that about myself. But anyway, listen, let's get on to Liverpool. So obviously, you start at Arsenal, up and down there, to be honest. You go out on loan. I mean, if anyone wants to find a bit more out about Jermaine, your Wikipedia page is like a treasure chest. You just, every time I go on it, it seems like a new club has been added on to that. Incredible career, bro.
Definitely a journey, man.
It's incredible. So, I mean, talk to me about AM here saying Jermaine looks like Joe Budden. Not too sure about that. Joe Budden's got no hair, so that can't be.
I know, he's bold.
He's bold. So talk to me, bro, about how the LFC move comes about. 2006.
It was my first season at Birmingham. And I think they was watching me the whole of that season when I was in the Premier League. They get relegated that season, Birmingham do. And then in pre-season, just get there. One of the training staff comes over and says, right, you need to get in the changing room. Your agent's on the phone. He goes, right, Jermaine, get yourself down to Anfield. You're doing a medical. And I was like, okay, let's go. Said bye to the boys. Off you go. And
that was it. Just
that
like
was it. Easy, just like that.
You get the call. You head down to Melwood. You meet Rafa.
Yeah, I met Rafa. He as I get there, he goes, right, come in my office. We sit down, and he says, I want you to write 3 things that, accumulate to your mistakes. So I'm like, oh my God. I went, girls, going out, alcohol.
No, you didn't write that. Did you actually? In your first
I absolutely did. Let's be honest, mate. Honest is the best.
So when Rafa gets that sheet of paper, and he goes, okay, girls, okay, going out, okay, alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to maybe a change thing.
Yeah. So he goes, so we're going to change that. And I said, well, I'm going to have to start looking at my friends who I go out with, maybe change that a little bit and stop going out as much and stay away from girls. I said, that's anything I could do, boss. And he goes, yes.
Then you're like, cool, so shall I just sign now and we're all sorted?
Yeah, but it was just after I signed, so he couldn't change his mind then, so it was already done.
We'll get into Rafa Benitez a little bit more later. But me personally, Jermaine, I've got really fond memories looking back at your time for Liverpool. 82 games from 2006 to 2009. I mean, let's talk about the 06-07 season. I fondly remember your debut against Maccabi Haifa.
Yep.
I think Craig Bellamy scores in that game. And I think you get the assist, am I right?
Yeah, I get the assist and I get the man of the match as well in the Carlsberg Lounge afterwards.
Love that. So in that team, I mean, you've got, in terms of wingers at the time, Dirk Kuyt just came in. Yeah. Didn't really know at the time whether he was a striker or a winger. You had Mark Gonzalez, who I think was bought in the same summer as you.
Yeah.
You had Luis Garcia, who'd already won the Champions League, playing as a winger at Liverpool. You played 52 games that season, bro.
Yeah.
Gerrard, for comparison and perspective, played 51 games that year.
Yeah, I think there's only Peperina who played every single game.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's an incredible run of games that season. Is it fair to say that's your maybe your peak of your career?
Yeah, it was, and it was. I'm obviously playing the most games apart from the goalie. Was obviously I was doing the right things, and I did have a great season personally. We obviously got to Champions League as well, Champions League final.
Yeah.
But then obviously I suffered a stress fracture. So the following season I had a double hernia surgery, and then we put a pin in my tibia to make sure it didn't break. And I was out for like 3 to 4 months. And then I got rushed back. And then ever since then, it just was like a little downfall. So, Rafa rushed me back and we played against Wigan. I didn't have a great game. So that was my first game in 4 months. And then since then, we're struggling to get back in the team. And then that's when my head went a little bit, because when I'm not playing, that's when, you know, I seem to go off the rails.
Yeah, I mean, going back to that season, 06, 07, like I say, you get the man of the match in your first game, an incredible Champions League run. You actually played 15 games in the Champions League that season. I mean, I didn't even know there was 15 games to be played in the season.
Yeah, we played a lot of qualifiers, didn't we? We played a few qualifiers. Yeah, so, and obviously all the great group stages and the final. So it was a long season, a long, tough season.
Absolutely, it was. I mean, let's talk about this a moment right here. I think this is very early in 2007. Like I said to you off camera, I remember this goal very clearly. You take a drop on your chest, you let it sit a bit, and you kind of hit it under the ball. So it gets that flight to go over Peter Cech, I think, was in goal. Yeah. I mean, did you go out that night after?
Absolutely. I was all over Liverpool town that night.
That. Talk to me about the game and the goal, though, man.
It's always a tough game against Chelsea. You know, they're like kind of rivals now, rivalry, and obviously playing against my mate Ashley. That's, you know, always there he is, almost my toughest opponent. You know, and all through the game, he was talking to me, saying, "You're not getting past me. I've got you." And then we had a night out planned anyway, and he was talking about the night, saying, "Yeah, I've got this booked." He was trying to get on my head. Everything, he was just trying to put me off my game. And
was he trying to put you off, or was he actually saying, like, "Listen, I've got this booked"? Or was he?
No. He's trying to get on my head. Yeah, and he's saying, "You're not getting past me. Look, I've got you. You're in my pocket all through." And it was hard enough just playing it normal. Never mind with him trying to get in your head. And that happened. And as he jogged past, going back, I went, "Oh," he went, "Yeah, Jermaine, nice goal." And then I said to him, "Is that night still planned, yeah?"
You're still going out there, Ash, yeah?
Yeah, I'm still going out, yeah, mate. But yeah, no, it was a great goal. And obviously being against him as well just made it a little bit better.
I mean, Rafa Benitez was never one really to go over the top with celebrations. I think the camera panned to him when he scored. There was absolutely no emotion. I mean, your celebration, you went right up to the corner of the Anfield Road, giving it this, love it. Yeah. I mean, what's it like to because, I mean, 99.9% of us watching are never going to feel that, bro. But being a Liverpool fan and scoring at Anfield, a goal like that against a team like that, I mean, it's tough to describe it. How does that feel?
It's difficult to, describe it, but you just go kind of numb. You know, you just go cold and numb, and your ears on the back of your neck stand up, and the adrenaline going through your body at that minute and that time when the fans are cheering, especially when you're hearing the Kop singing as well, it's unbelievable. You never get a feeling like that unless you score a goal at Anfield. It's so hard. It's so difficult to, tell the story and how you're going to feel, but it's a moment that I'll always cherish forever in my career.
Absolutely, bro. Darren actually here says he was behind the goal that day on the Anfield Road end versus Chelsea. He actually says Cech was left with a big question mark over him that day. Huge win, big atmosphere and big performance. We were talking about the other goal scorer of that game, Dirk Kuyt, loved the goal against Chelsea. And Riise hit the bar from maybe 40 yards that as well.
With his rocket on his left foot. Right.
He had some strike on him, didn't he?
Oh yeah, his left foot was a joke. You know, when he connects with it, it's the best thing to do is just get out of the way. Don't even try and block them shots there.
Absolutely. Unlucky not to score that game, John Arnie. Well, let's talk about the Champions League final. I've got a picture here from that night. I mean, obviously hugely disappointing on the night. I actually watched the highlights back of it, and I still to this day, Jermaine, say that first goal, it's a handball.
Do you know what? Both of their goals were rubbish. They look high. It's just so frustrating, because I feel we was the better team, throughout the 90 minutes. It was handball. But, obviously, if you had VAR now, that wouldn't have counted. But it's just unlucky. And it was a bittersweet moment for me. Obviously, losing was devastated, gutted. Going home was sad. But then once a couple of days went past, the achievement and pride of getting to the Champions League final in my first season, for me personally, was a fantastic achievement. So, that bitterness, that guttedness, and then turned into, you know, kind of pride and happiness, and, you know, I felt great about it.
Absolutely. I mean, knowing where you come from to play in a Champions League final, and let's be honest, bro, forgetting Zaghi scoring 2 goals, you were man of the match that night. You gave Jankulovski an absolute on that side. You got him booked.
Yeah, no, I had a good game. And you know, I did really take the, you know, by the bull of the horns during that occasion. You know, it's one chance in a lifetime. The amount of professional footballers who want to play in the Champions League, never mind the final, and to play with your boyhood team as well is like an extra special moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this was against Fulham, actually.
Yeah, I scored in that game as well.
You did, 07-08 season.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to that 06-07 team, we talk about this Liverpool team being so great. I mean, you were there for 07-08 as well, where the spine was Reina, Carragher, Agger, Alonso, Mascherano, Gerrard and Torres. I mean, Jermaine, I can confidently say that you probably played in the second best ever Liverpool team in the Premier League.
Yeah, I could vouch for that. That team we had was a good team. You know, Torres that season was absolutely outstanding. He was, you know, a goal machine, you know, Torres, and then you got Xabi Alonso just spraying balls, you know, pass master, and obviously Mr. Gerrard, Mr. Liverpool, up and down the pitch. You can't go wrong. Then you got Mascherano, the dog, you know, he's like the Leicester's Kante.
Yeah,
and obviously Karen Agger was great on the ball, could score some goals as well. So we really did have a good team that season, and you know, it's just a bit good that we didn't, you know, do a little bit better. Yeah,
some good cup runs. I mean, you won the Community Shield for Liverpool. We beat Chelsea again in that game. I think it was the second Community Shield of your career.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that game, because obviously the Community Shield, I mean, Liverpool have just lost one. Yeah. What's your thoughts on it? Because obviously it's a major trophy if you win it, but it seems like if you lose it, then people go, oh, well, it was only the Community Shield.
Yeah, they do. I guess sometimes it's good to win it, because then it gets you on the front foot of the season. You just won a little trophy, so you start on the season on a high. Yeah. You know, a little bit of silverware, regardless of what it is. Community Shield, you know, Carabao Cup, it's still some sort of trophy. So I always like to go in there wanting to win it, because then you're kicking in the season on the, like I said, on the front foot, and a bit of silverware in the cabinet, and you know, it gives you a big boost, big morale, and hopefully, you know, can kickstart your season.
Talking about that great team that we just mentioned there, I mean, who's your favourite player to play with in that team? Some great names, but I mean, so many great players.
Xabi Alonso.
Xabi.
You know, all I used to do was just stand out on that wing. Chalk, you know, my boots on the touch line, and I know if there was a little bit of space, he's finding me, you know, and I didn't have to worry about the ball bouncing. It would be like a bullet. So Xabi Alonso.
I mean, I always did. I mean, listen, I'm not a pro footballer, but my mates have always said I wasn't the quickest, but I had a ping, and I always used to say and try and base my game. I'd even wear the same boots as Xabi, you know, the Adi.
Yeah.
When he wore them, because you know Xabi, he wasn't a flash dude. But
no.
He used to come in the all black Adi Pures, and he just set pace in every game that he played.
Yeah, he just controlled the game. That's what he did, you know. Like I said, he wasn't electric pace. He wouldn't skip past players, but you know, you couldn't get the ball off at maybe 1-2 touch, get it out, spray it, you know, like a painter. It would just be a dream to play with.
You mentioned the Champions League final. Of course, you were man of the match in that. There was a really bizarre mid-game incident, wasn't there, during that time? I mean, you've spoken about this in the past, but for those who don't know, just tell us what actually happened whilst you were on the pitch in Athens.
In Athens, yeah. It got shouted out like 3 or 4 times. And it said, Pennant, can you come to the stewards or to the ticket office? And I'm like, is that my name? So first time I didn't register, second time I did, and then I'm like, hold on a minute, I'm playing. What do you have to do? Just come off the pitch, yeah? So basically, I left 3 tickets for my family. My uncle, my brother, and someone else. But someone's obviously, you know, gone to the stadium and just said Pennant on a whim, and they've gone through tickets and handed them over. So then when my family's got there, they've said the same thing, and there's no tickets there. So they've flown all the way to Athens. Couldn't even watch the game, and obviously, someone took the tickets.
Do you know who took
No idea, because there's nothing you can do, can you? So.
But did you not go like at half time or at the end of the game? I mean, obviously you just.
Well, yeah, I did ask the question, but foreign Greek, they're not really going to give you the best explanation. So it was just one of those things, nothing I can do. And after the game, I was more gutted about losing than worrying about tickets. So yeah, they weren't happy, but what possibly could I have done?
But I just can't get my head around the fact that one, you're playing in the Champions League final, you're having the game of your probably Liverpool career so far, and you're getting this shout, and you're looking up to the tannoy with Xabi about to pass the ball to you. Are you messing here? Do you want me to come and talk? Rafa's done.
I just thought it was someone else. I just thought it was maybe a family member in the stadium or something. I didn't actually, think it was directed to me. And like once I heard it, it just literally went straight out of my mind anyway. So I have to concentrate on what was at hand.
Yeah, I mean, Torres joins the next season after that. We've got a question here. Was Torres as great in training as he was in matches? And did you know that at the start you had a world-class striker in the team? Was he a character?
No, he was quiet. It was a little bit a character when he was, with the Spanish boys. But as a whole, as a group, it was quiet. It was a little dark horse, I think. Yeah, so he didn't really show too much. It was more when he was with the Spanish boys. But in training, yeah, he was a goal machine in training, goal machine, in games. He was powerful, quick, he could finish. So, yeah, we knew that when he signed that he was a goal machine. And, when he kickstarted his career with the goals, it was a fantastic signing.
There's a game that I specifically remember that you had a great game, and it was the Newcastle 3-0 at Anfield. And it was where Gerrard plays that ball and Torres lets it go around. Given, I think, was in goal. Did you score that?
Yeah. Well, I scored, yeah. It was a fluky goal, but all goals are a goal.
I remember it came off your back or something, didn't it?
Yeah, Griffiths tried to clear it, but I tried to jump out of the way so it didn't go out for a goal kick. But it hit my shin, but looped over Given. So I still ran off and celebrated though.
Kop end as well?
No, it was the other end. No, it was Anfield end on the Kop end.
Yeah, I mean, incredible game that was. I think the other goal scorer that day was Stevie, maybe? Not too sure. My memory's quite good with things like that.
Torres, me, and not Yoss. It won't be Benayoun. No, it wasn't him. Was it Benayoun?
Crouchy, maybe? It could have been Benayoun.
Yeah.
Look up that one. Yeah. Get your questions in, guys. We're still taking questions, and we'll read some more out at the end of the interview. But talk to me about the number 16 shirt, because it seemed like you were really fond of that shirt number.
Yeah, well, I wanted 7, but I think Harry Q had it in the
Harry
end.
Q was still there, yeah.
Harry Q, when I joined, was 7, so couldn't have that one. So my next one was, 1 and 6 is 7. So, yeah. So I had 16. And then I just kept it ever since. And then when I even left Liverpool, went Stoke, I wanted 16. I've got the tattoo on my leg, 16. So it was just like a special number, obviously, being at Liverpool.
And if 16 wasn't there, you could have had 52. You could have had 43.
Yeah.
You could have had 9 takeaways.
Yeah. 16 was the one. It was a good number for me there.
I mean, going back to that incredible Champions League campaign, there's this huge story about Bellamy-Riise in Valle de Lobo in the warm weather training camp.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to me about what actually happened though, because I've seen Bellamy's book, I've seen Carra's book, I've seen Gerrard's book. Talk to us about where it starts and where it finishes. The finishing point is obviously this moment here when we beat Barca.
Yeah.
We're the only English team to still, to this day, beat them in the Champions League. But you were there, set the record straight, Jay.
Well, it was we had like a night off. So obviously, it was an intense warm weather training, and was in a bar karaoke, like private. And Riise was shouting, "Go on, Craig, get up, go and start, have a sing." And Bellamy was like, "Nah, just relax, I'm just chilling." And then Riise was giving it big laugh, giving it like, "Craig, you're all talk, you're all this," but like on him for like a good half an hour. And Bellamy was like, Ed was going slowly, and then afterwards it was all like all calm. And when we got back to the complex, Craig just took his 7-iron, went to Reese's room, knocked on his door. Steve Finnings opened it.
Bless
And
Steve Pennant as well. Got no intent.
yeah, didn't know what was going on. Like, thought, hi, Craig. And then Craig's gone in and says, "What you saying now, Ginge? What you saying now?" And then just hit him with the 7 iron a few times.
The 7 iron.
Yeah. And then next day in training, the whole squads got together. Rafa's like pulled us all in and addressed it and said, "Look, it goes no further. You know, are we clear? We all make up now." They did. And then obviously in the next game, Craig scored and that was his celebration. But we all saw the funny side of it and we all just moved on.
Yeah, I mean, this was huge news in England at the time when the story broke. The ironic thing is here, as you can see, I think it was Dirk Kuyt that makes the header. Victor Valdez. Was it Bellamy that makes the header? Victor Valdez pushes it off the line.
Yeah.
Goal. He runs to the corner and does this golf swing. I mean, and then he sets up Riise to score the winner. So you couldn't even write this.
Yeah. So like I said, it was all brushed under the carpet. It was all done and dealt with at the training camp, so we could move on and focus on the game. I'm not sure if he got. Well, he probably would have got a little fine, but you know, that's what football's about, isn't it? End of the day, the good old days. Good old days
where you could get away with a little golf swing. Listen, he's lucky it wasn't a freewood or a driver.
Yeah, just a little 7 iron. So he had a few bruises on his thigh, but nothing.
He made contact. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Christopher here says, "Damn, lol, don't get on Craig's bad side. Craig was a madman. Reece should have known." A lot of people already know here that Craig did have that reputation. But nice lad on the pitch.
No. On the pitch is horrible. There's a horrible lad on the pitch. It's off the pitch changing rooms. If you don't argue with him, he's a nice guy. And we always got on. We never fell out. Misunderstood slightly, but like I said, he don't help himself with certain antics and off the field, incidents. But no, overall, he's a cool guy.
Absolutely. So you leave Liverpool, a lot of things happen, and then you end up at Zaragoza, a Spanish team in La Liga. I mean, did you actually pick up any Spanish there, Jermaine?
I learned a little bit after a few months. I had a translator who was like teaching me as well. So I did pick up some stuff, but it was years ago now, so it's all gone out the window again. But no, I got by. It was good. I enjoyed the football. It was great standing out there. Really enjoyed that. So it was a good little move for me. Enjoyed it.
And then you end up back at Stoke, reunited with your old pal.
With Crouchy. Yeah.
You played with him at Liverpool. You've played with him at Stoke. I've met him. He's a top bloke. And Portsmouth as well.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this fella.
Oh, he's funny. He's a great guy. He's an absolute legend character as well. My game then was get past the full backs and get whip balls in. So when you've got him on your team, it made my job a lot easier. The amount of assists that this guy's got me and the amount of goals I've got him, is phenomenal.
My favourite Jermaine Pennant assist for Crouchy, the Arsenal 4-1 game. You kind of side foot loop it over the defender. He brings it down, little Cruyff, little turn there, and a left foot finish, making it the perfect hat trick. I mean, he should have bought you a drink that night if he didn't.
He owes me a lot of drinks. I'm going to text him actually. I'm going to send him a text saying, "Mate, any danger some drinks?" I like I said, I enjoyed playing with him, and that was my game mainly. Assists and creating chances and setting up goals. But when you've got like a big man who's great in the air like he is, it makes your job a little bit easier.
Absolutely. I mean, he scored some great goals and so many assists you got for Liverpool as well. I think it's underrated, actually, the amount of times you would beat a man on the right and swing the ball in. You had Kuyt, you had Crouch, Gerrard coming in from late. So you knew that every time you whipped one or held it up to the back stick, even if it was near post, back post, you can pretty much guarantee that someone's going to get on the end of it.
Yeah, that was my job. That was my bread and butter. So when you're talking about the players there, Crouch, Kuyt, and Stevie G, all can finish, all can head. So like I said, it does make your job a lot easier when you've got quality players and with their attributes in the box. And then Torres as well.
Yeah, Nando Torres. Can't forget him.
Nino.
Yeah, El Nino. Was Gerrard talking in the dressing room about his relationship with Rafa? Did he have some issues about how he was treated? I mean, you were around the time. I mean, listen, not everyone had the best relationship with Rafa. You can tell us about yours as well.
He's not a great management manager. You know, he don't really manage you one-to-one great. I know Karen, Stevie G really didn't, you know, see eye to eye to a certain degree. I think, you know, was Rafa threatened about how much power they had. I'm not too sure, but, you know, I know the relationship wasn't amazing. You know, like I think it would have been under Klopp.
Oh, wow.
But that's just Rafa for you. He was more of a tactician than a man management guy. And, you know, it came to a point where with me, you know, towards the latter end of my stage at Anfield, I felt like I couldn't play my game. He was, you know, trying to dictate when I get the ball, when I pass the ball, pass to whom, rather than let me do me and express my side. So that was my issue with Rafa, really. And I made a comment one time that it felt like I was a robot, you know, taking instructions, and I got posted on the front page of a newspaper as RoboCop.
Wow. And I mean, you can probably guess what paper that is, but
yeah. Let's not say the name. But it was that one actually.
It was that one. Well, it's no surprise, really, scumbags. Right, let's talk about this one. Red card against Porto in the Champions League. Again, I remember the game. I think it was 1-1. Talk to me about this one. How did you feel coming off the pitch? I mean, did Rafa give you?
Oh yeah, no. It was after the game. I was devastated. I didn't come out of the changing room. Well, obviously not, because obviously it was an important game and the ball was going out. I tried to slide and keep it in. It wasn't malicious. I wasn't trying to foul him or him. I tried, you know, as he was shielding the ball to go out of play, I just slid round the back to try and keep it in. But obviously the referees in Champions League, the foreign referees sometimes are very, you know, quick to give you a card. It was a bit harsh in my perspective, and I was gutted to let the team down, going down to 10 men so early on. But they dug deep, got a result, got a 1-1, which is a fantastic result for us. I apologised to the boys after the game. Rafa just said, you know, we got through that one. You know, you let the team down, you've got to do better than that. It's got to be a learning curve for you. And yeah, you just move on and, you know, make sure you stay on your feet next time.
Talk to me about Stevie G. I mean, we all idolise him. We all think he's our hero. He's definitely my hero. What was he just like around the changing room? Maybe outside the changing room as well. A bit of a lad.
Yeah, it was. He was a leader on and off the pitch. Sometimes when things weren't going right, you know, he would step up as, you know, take Rafa's place with the team talk, you know, trying to rally us. You know, Rafa will go around with his pen and paper, showing you little notes and give you little instructions, but it will be Stevie G, you know, putting the fire back in your belly and rallying the team together. And, you know, you can tell now looking back, he had the attributes to be a manager and a successful one. And that's why he's the legend at the club and the captain.
And I mean, you were a Liverpool fan before you joined there. You must have seen him lift the Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup. When you're sitting with him in that changing room, do you look at him and go, wow, that's Stevie G? Or do you actually go, well, he's a teammate now. He's a mate. Oh, sorry. Talking about Gerrard.
Just dropped my phone.
No worries.
No, I can remember watching that game. I was on holiday, and after it's 3-0 half time, I turned it off. I went to the bar and was in Maldives. And then obviously I look over to the screen and I see it's 3-2. I'm like, oh my God, so my tension went back. Mrs. was raging because she didn't get no time. And it was obviously going through that game, winning it. It was just, I had a great night in the Maldives. But obviously, yeah, when I joined, the first thought was, oh my God, Steven Gerrard. And then, but as you get to know him and get to play with him, you know, you're not so starstruck. He's more of a teammate, but it was always a pleasure to be around him, to play with him, train with him. It was always a pleasure. And like I said, I've got fond memories of being at Liverpool.
Yeah, and we all do. You can see in the comments that you're still loved. Cameron here, big up JP for coming on. The truth is always different from what the media say. I've actually got a video here. So I was actually in the audience for your Soccer AM appearance back in January. And I filmed this video that we can watch now.
All right, 2 more. I'm after the kid.
Do you know what's funny? In that video, I'm filming it, and there's about 10 kids behind me, and I'm going, no, I'm after him. I'm after him. I was waiting for like 20 minutes.
All right, 2 more. I'm after the kid.
So that one goes wide, and then I step up just after you, Jermaine. I think you had to rush off.
Not bad.
Didn't score.
Yeah. Hit the post though. Hit the post. You get all for that.
No, I rated that one. Let's take some questions here then. So the funniest chant you ever heard from the Kop, what was that?
Oh my God.
I think at the time, the Peter Crouch chant was quite good, wasn't it?
The Crouches chant, and I love the is it Garcia's or Alonso one? I just love the Spanish one. It was just funny.
Yeah. You drink sangria.
Yeah.
A great era of chants, actually.
That always gave me a little chuckle.
Jermaine, do you think Liverpool will retain the title this year? Big question.
Do you know what? I hope so, but I reckon they need to make a signing. I was a bit worried and concerned that they didn't bring a big midfielder in. I think Thiago would be fantastic because I just think we're lacking a little bit of creativity in the middle. We can't leave it always to the front three. Mane, Salah, and Firmino. I think we need someone like Thiago in the middle would be, I think, good signing for us. So I think we need another signing, to give us a bit of strength and depth. So, it's going to be tough, though. It's going to be tough because everyone's bringing in good players now and trying to catch us up. Absolutely.
I think I was asked this just earlier today. What do I think about Ryan Brewster being allowed to leave potentially? And I'm a big fan of Ryan. And I think last season, a lot of, not criticism, but when Origi would come on and maybe wouldn't impact the game, there was a lot of criticism to say, well, we need someone else who's going to come on in that striker role. I think personally, with Divock and Ryan to come off the bench this year to support the front three, I think that's perfect. I don't think we need to buy any more strikers. I think Ryan is ready. What's your opinion on the kid, Ryan Brewster? They're talking today that he might be in advanced talks with Sheffield United.
Yeah, I think our front three, are solid. Ryan, should we give him a chance? You look what happened to Mason Greenwood. He was getting his little sniffs and chances here and there. And then when he came on, he would make an impact, score a goal. And then that's when he got his more chances. And then obviously he's progressed. So it could have been the same with Ryan. So, but it's difficult though, when you've got such a formidable front three, to get in there, it's tough. It is very tough. So, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one.
Question here from Claudia T. Would you jump at the chance to be a coach at Liverpool?
Absolutely. I'd love to be back there. So I do a few things still for Liverpool. I'm not saying I'm a legend, but they've asked me to do in the Legends game. So I still in contact with the club. I'm a part of that family. But I would love to be, if that opportunity ever arises, I'll definitely take it.
You mentioned before we went on air that once you become part of that Liverpool family, I mean, unless you're El Hadj Diouf, you go on to still be really close. James here says, who are you closest with in the squad at the time?
It was the closest. I would probably Ryan, Babel, Crouchy, and probably Bellamy. It was them three. Them three I was probably the closest with.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Ryan Babel when he came through, and he's actually still, playing for Holland. So Winner Paul here says you should be an LFC ambassador. Great guy. Absolutely.
Cheers, mate.
Absolutely, you should be. Highlight of your career, not including the Champions League final.
Highlight of the career was probably scoring that worldie against my mate Ashley and Chelsea.
Yeah. Get that picture up again.
Yeah, that was get that up.
There we go.
That's probably the highlight. And then also with Stoke, we managed to get them to the first ever in their history to the FA Cup final, which was great to be a part of, and also got into due to Man City winning the league and the FA Cup, we got into the Europe as well, which was the first time in their history. So that was a great moment. But, you know, for Liverpool, it's definitely the Champions League final, which I can't say, but the goal against Chelsea, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Liam Roach here says, was Ashley Cole the toughest opponent, or was it someone else?
No, it was always Ashley. It was a rash. He can tackle. He wasn't scared of a challenge. He was quick. So it was always difficult to get past him, you know, and I played with him at Arsenal for like 6 years. So he knew my weakness. He knew my strengths through training, because Arsene Wenger always used to put us against each other. So, yeah, he was a toughest for sure.
Right, listen, I think that's enough questions for you today, Jermaine. Again, massive.
Listen, my pleasure.
It's been an absolute honour to have you on. Hopefully we can get more Liverpool players on as well soon. You're a top bloke, whatever.
Cheers,
anyone
mate.
says, I've always got your back. I've seen you on and off the pitch, and you're a top bloke. So listen,
thanks a lot.
Thanks again, and I'll see you soon, Jermaine. Take care.
Take care, mate. Take care. Bye-bye.
All the best. Well, there you go. Jermaine Pennant on the Kop TV. Who would have thought it? What a top guy. H-born Lord Gellis here. Weird name, but great name. Says JP, top guy. He'll never walk alone. Very special player at LFC. Thank you to all of your comments. It's been great. Diego says, great insight for Jermaine on Liverpool. We had some more questions to answer, but I did say to Jermaine we'd only be 40 minutes. So I didn't want to take the mic and, you know, get in his bad books. But no, listen, whatever anyone says about Jermaine Pennant, you can clearly see he's a top lad. He worked very hard, and trust me, where he's from in Nottingham, it's the mud. So for someone to come from that environment and make it as not only a Liverpool player, but to play in a Champions League final, I mean, you can never take that away from him. Ryan says, thank you. Come on the channel. Absolutely top guy. Great watch. Thanks, Jermaine. Love that, guys. Listen, normally we do these interviews pre-recorded, make a little edit and then chuck it out. But I thought, why not involve you guys, the audience as well, and get your questions in. Listen, I'm going to do my very best to continue to get Liverpool players on the channel, ex-Liverpool players, current Liverpool players. That would be great. So yeah, please, if you haven't already and you're watching this video now, please press that subscribe button, press the bell as well, so you're always notified, always in the know. And of course, like and comment and share the video too. Smash that likes button, as Diego says. Listen, this guy, Diego, here is a Crystal Palace fan, yet he absolutely puts on for the Kop TV. So I have to big up you, bro. I have to big up Claudia T as well. She's always locking in. And there was a couple more questions I wanted to ask, but listen, we got a great interview there, I personally think. And like I said, we'll really push to get more Liverpool players, both current and ex, on the channel when I can. Don't forget, tomorrow, no Top of the Kops tonight, guys. No Top of the Kops tonight. It's tomorrow. And it's with the one, the only, Grizz Khan. Now, Liverpool fans here will know all about Grizz Khan. He's a good mate of mine. I appear on the LFC Day Trippers podcast a lot. So it'll be his Kop TV debut, actually, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. A little bit later than normal. 8 o'clock we'll go live tomorrow night with Grizz Khan for Top of the Kops. And then Thursday, we're hoping to lock in this interview with Louis, who directed the BBC Two documentary that just went out recently about Liverpool. Honestly, one of the best documentaries I've ever seen in sport, let alone Liverpool. So I'm super excited to ask him a load of questions about that. And then Friday, we'll have a match preview for the game. By the way, on the radars every morning as well. And then Saturday, we get ready for Sunday's big game. I might do an Instagram live there to get your thoughts. Sunday, the big game. And then next Wednesday, when I come out of isolation, finally, I'm going to head up to Liverpool with my brother, James Redmond, who's commenting here. And we'll film some videos for his channel and my channel as well. But guys, thank you so much for locking in. It really means a lot. Big up to Jermaine Pennant, absolute legend. And I hope to see you again soon. Take care.